Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. And I have a thought to share with you today. It comes from Moses' book named Numbers. Now, I don't know about you, but reading Numbers is never high on my list. Oh, I've read it a couple of times. But when I think about reading something in the Bible, usually Numbers doesn't come to my mind first thing. So let's take a look at some of this. I'm going to read something in chapter 6, but before I get there, we find in the book of Numbers, God given a lot of rules, a lot of requirements, a lot of directives. He's talked about purity. He's talked about marital faithfulness. He's talked about things like that, what we call the Nazirite laws, which are ones that set us apart from God. And he's telling us to do this and do that in those passages. And it's, how do we say it? It's good to do what God says. Whatever else happens, you're not going to be hurt by it. Now, to do what somebody else says God says, that's a whole different ballgame. I'm talking about that. When God says to uphold this or that, then that's basically what we ought to do. And he goes further after all of this stuff. And we come to Numbers chapter 6 and verse 22. It says, Then the Lord said to Moses, Tell Aaron and his sons. Aaron and his sons were the religious leaders of Israel. Tell them to bless the people of Israel with this blessing. So here it comes. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show his favor and give you peace. Now, there's a song in churches about this. In fact, we sang it not too long ago at the funeral of a really fine fellow who died in our church. And it's very, very specific, but it's very, very soothing to our souls, to our minds, to our hearts, to our lives, if we will hear it carefully. May the Lord bless you and protect you. Well, we can all use some blessings, and even if we admit it or not, we could all use some protection here and there. Now, yeah, we get used to being in charge ourselves and doing what we want to do and what we think we ought to do. But this is God overriding all of what we do, putting his hands around us and surrounding us with his love and his grace and protecting us. Just like, I don't know, just like your mom or dad hopefully once hugged you and protected you. Goes on to pray, may the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. You ever thought about the Lord smiling on you? Well, maybe the first thought that comes along is, I'm not worthy of that. Well, I think you probably are. I mean, even if you're not walking with God, God still wants to smile on you. He wants his goodness and his love and his grace to fall upon you. Yeah, you, me, us guys, the ones who mess it up every time we turn around, the ones who are anything but perfect. He wants us to bless us and to protect us. Then it goes on to say, may the Lord smile onto you. Picture in your head here. Let me close my eyes. Picture God in heaven, maybe sitting on the throne. Maybe he's walking across the countryside. I don't know. But just picture him in your head. And see this God smiling at you. Can you see that? In this big picture in our heads, can you see God smiling? So many times we want to see God as angry and bitter against us and punishing us for everything. There's a poster on the, I guess it's on the lights post. I see it several times. It seems to disappear, but then it comes back. And it says, going to hell or to Jesus. Well, that's a crazy idea. Of course, if you don't walk with God, your afterlife is not going to be so swift. But that won't change it. That's not God's smile on you. That's God punishing you. Get ready to pound you down. And a lot of people think that's the way God is. But that's not what this passage says. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. I mean, I didn't make this up. I just read it. You can go back and read it again if you want in Numbers 6, chapter 6 and verse 24. But this notion that God wants to smile on you. Yeah, you. The one I'm talking to that I can't see through the screen. And then finally says, may the Lord show you his favor and give you peace. A lot of people in this world who don't have peace. How about you? Do you have peace about your life? Where it's going or where it's gone? What's happening around you? Or you're in turmoil? Or are you in anger? Or are you just discouraged and you don't know what to think? Moses in this book gives this blessing that's to be given to you and to me today and every day. I pray that your life will manifest this kind of notion and that you will feel the smile of God on you. Thanks so much for listening. Be back tomorrow. Got a couple more thoughts for this week. Hope you have a wonderful day. If you have a need or a concern, let us know. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to meet your need. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back tomorrow and share another thought.